Hey everybody, happy Sunday. I hope that wherever you are and whatever you are doing, you are having a fantastic weekend. Autumn is finally here. We're going to be covering that again in the garden and chicken update. If you haven't seen that, follow the link in the description. If you are somebody who wants to know about my garden and all the rain we've had and the chickens who are still molting and all the other stuff that's been going on in the Gordon Bloomfield garden this week, I will not bore you if you are here to watch the Sunday Musing, but I do want to talk to you today about a topic that we have discussed before on this channel, and that is how easy it is to get charging for your vehicle at your home. Now, obviously, if you own your own home, the chances are you have access to off-street parking and or charging because it's your home. And unless you are somebody who, lives in an area of outstanding natural beauty, or you live in a listed home in the UK or somewhere else in the world, and there are prohibitions on what you can install in your home. And if you're watching elsewhere in the world, I kind of want to reiterate, in parts of the world like the UK, if you live in an area that is particularly beautiful, considered particularly beautiful, that is, or you live in a home that's really old or culturally or architecturally significant, you may have a whole load of regulations preventing you from doing things like putting a charging station on the outside of your home or putting solar panels on the roof or other things. And that can really damage the chances, the likelihood that you will be able to get solar panels or charging for your vehicle at your home. But for most people who own their own home, the chances are, unless you live in an apartment complex that you own or you have a condo, you probably have really easy access to your own at-home charging. I know that there are some homeowners associations with new builds that are really, really pedantic about charging. Some of them are particularly pernicious, especially if it's a homeowners association in a development where you do not have parking and charging on your own property, but rather have to use a community charging or a community parking space, which again is becoming more and more common in major cities around the world. I would love to know, if you are in that situation, or indeed you rent, how you've gone about trying to procure charging for your EV. Maybe you haven't yet, but I'm hoping that those of you who have got tips and tricks that you can share with us in the comments section so that other people can maybe follow in your footsteps and learn how to better get charging, how to better get things set up, so that they can enjoy having an EV without worrying about where am I going to charge it at night. Because, look, I know we as a community very often spend a lot of time and a lot of energy obsessing about the minutiae of rapid charging. We ourselves lately have been on a bit of a crusade, I suppose, to try and get Electrify America to improve its charging stations, because Electrify America has been really pants of late. But it's not just about rapid charging. Most people charge, if they can charge at home, they don't need to charge elsewhere unless they're making a long distance road trip. And, I'm very lucky here at my house. I live in rural Oregon. I have a charging station for my truck. It's a temporary thing. We're testing out a Juice power cable, Juice Plus power cable right now. And so we've got a 50 amp cable that runs into the garage to a 50 amp outlet in there. But we have 2 dedicated charging stations in the garage. We can put a temporary one in our pump house when required. And we're just about to get an 80 amp charge station for the truck. So for me, I don't have to worry about this, right? Because I'm always, there's always somewhere for me to plug in at home. But if you rent, or you happen to live in an apartment complex with a weird homeowners association or weird rules about what you can and cannot do, I'm curious to know how you got around those things. Here in Oregon, for example, there is a regulation that mandates that landlords have to make reasonable accommodations for a request from a tenant to install a charging station for their use at their home. But what the rules don't say is how much the landlord can charge you for that. So a landlord can go, yeah, I'll put a charging station in, but it's going to be super expensive, and that will put you off asking for it. So is this something that maybe your local city or your local state or your local country or your local region has come up with a better solution for than what we see here in the US right now. Or maybe you're just really good at persuading people. Maybe you're good at writing letters. Maybe you are an EV advocate. Obviously, it has been Drive Electric Week. And so we cannot talk about getting people behind the wheel of an EV without discussing how do we help them to charge. I've discussed this before on the channel. One of my team here does not have access to charging at home, and they are able to effectively jury rig a charging solution by using a granny lead and a handy dandy outlet near their home. One of the other team members doesn't have charging at home and basically gets to charge here, and that's it, and wherever else they can find charging out and about. And it's one of the reasons why they both own plug-in hybrids rather than fully electric vehicles. So please share your thoughts and your solutions in the comments below. Maybe you want to see more provision at massive residential developments, which are becoming more common in the major cities, that either provides everybody with a basic 110 volt outlet at their parking space, which a lot of places in more northern climes, like northern parts of Canada, Alaska, they have places for people to plug in block heaters so their internal combustion engines don't freeze up in the winter. We could do that here with EVs as well. And for most people who only have like a 20, 30, 40 mile commute every day, you could probably just use a 110 volt granny lead to charge your EV, as long as the sockets that you're plugging into are verified, they have proper overcurrent protection, they have proper ground fault interrupts and all of that. That would be totally fine. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and I or Kate or Erin or someone else will be back next week with another Sunday Musing. I know Erin's been thinking about doing one. I know Kate has just recorded one as well, so it might not be me, it might be one of them. If you like the video, please consider giving it a thumbs up and sharing it with your friends, and don't forget to leave your thoughts below or in our free to join Discord chat room. There are links in the video description, and if you really like today's video, why not leave us a super thanks? It's now possible to do on this channel, and everything you do send goes towards helping us make great content. If you haven't already, make sure you've subscribed to this channel and to our main channel, Transport Evolved, and give that bell a gentle ring to make sure that you know when our next video goes live. And be sure to check out our usual regular sponsors, links in the description to the lovely folks at Unspun and Energy Sage. Thanks on behalf of the entire crew go out to everyone who makes this channel possible. That includes everyone who supports us on Patreon and YouTube, as well as those of you who watch and share our videos. If you are a supporter at the charged up level, you will see your name right here on my right hand side. And if you just joined and your name is not there, do not worry, it will be soon. Thanks to our self-driving tier supporters, Mike Weeder, Patrick Boyarski, Chris Maxwell, Brian Newton, Michael Goad, Bennett Elder, Andrew Martin, Pedro Muir Pinheiro, Brophy Wolf, Chris and Michael Johnson, Tazla in the Gong, Dan Blair, Peter Dillinger, Gordon C., Stephen O'Donoghue, Kyle Hodgson, Anthony Coates, Regine Fellows, Denny Hyde, Chris Asental and Jim Burnett, and of course, out of this world, thanks, if I don't drop my camera, to our Starman level supporters. They are Andrew Glenn, Anonymous Freak, JP Fagerback, Joe Bresney, John Lyons, Rory Litwin, Kevin Boroughbridge, Laura Reynolds, Marcel Ward, Matthew Drobneck, Paul Conway, Reggie Watts, Will Graylin, and of course, last but not least, Ian. If you would like to be part of that amazing list, it's really easy to do so. Don't worry, you can follow the links in the description below. You can support us on Patreon, you can support us on YouTube, you can send us Bitcoin, Ko-fi, or buy something cool from our swag store. I will be back soon with more awesome content, as will the rest of the team. But until then, thanks for joining me. Keep evolving.